People of all ages, welcome to Debate Crypto, where hopium collides with common sense, right? It's your boy CryptoKeeper, and as always, BlockchainCrusader. Miguel, how you doing, brother?
Good man. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm super excited about tonight because I actually fill me in what's on the podium.
Bitcoin, 100K. Is it just the tip of the iceberg?
Ooh, is
Caliente.
100K. Yeah, is 100K just the tip of the iceberg? I was going to tell you to grab your sauce because things about to get spicy. Um, but yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this one, Miguel. I'll tell you why. I think so often we try to. Here's the thing, guys. We talk about where hopium collides with common sense. Okay.
Yeah.
We do not want to, as a general rule, serve you up all sorts of hopium, knowing full well that that's what we're doing, right? There are a lot of different content creators out there that want to ultimately push this hopium narrative. What we want to do is educate you so that you can make a game plan to help yourself in a bear market, a bull market, any type of market. That's
Yep.
what we're here for, right? So we don't want to just serve you hopium. That being said, though, once in a while, you got to talk about it because guess what? What we're about to talk about, Miguel, tonight is an absolute reality. We
Yeah.
have people actively talking about Bitcoin going to
200 plus.
250K, right?
Yes. Yes.
Again, we are
And
not
today's What
trying to
If Wednesday,
serve.
right?
Yeah, it's What If Wednesday. We're not trying to serve you any type of wildness, but it's What If Wednesday. And the what if for this evening is what if 100K, which by the way, we're not even there yet, but we're going to make the assumption that we get there, right? We
Yeah.
had been talking about 100K being at this point because the market has stretched, or the bearish part of the market stretched so long. We were talking about 100K being the possible top. But tonight, what if Wednesday, Miguel, you can kick us off. And my question to you is this: what if Bitcoin 100K is just the beginning? Talk to me about
So Bitcoin Maxi logging in here.
it.
Obviously, I got some thoughts on it. Not just kidding. I'm not a Bitcoin Maxi, but I 100% love Bitcoin, right? So it being 100K, the tip just being 100K is very possible. And the reason why is if we look at what happened in May when Bitcoin hit 65, right? And we had that little mini blow off top. Well, it wasn't
Yep.
even a blow off top. I'm gonna correct myself
Yeah.
there. I had that little rollover of price action and we just died out.
Right.
Um, Instantly we got hit with a bunch of FUD about how Bitcoin was over, Bitcoin is dead, yada yada, right? And then we had the whole summer, it was dead action. But on-chain metrics were showing whales, they sold, but they were buying up the dip and buying up the dip. If this was really the end of the bull run, they would not be accumulating as heavily as they are right now.
I agree. I
Right?
totally
We are
agree.
seeing on-chain metrics showing lower and lower supply of Bitcoin on exchanges for
Yeah.
Bitcoin, meaning people are holding Bitcoin for longer and longer periods of time. 100K right now has become a thing of, at the beginning of this bull run, we thought 300K easy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 300K, no problem. 100K, that's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, we after that big FUD in the summer, we had a big narrative shift that 100K might not even be possible anymore. People got very defeated very quickly and get stuck in that bear mentality very, very easily. And now they think 100K is practically almost impossible. Like that would be like the ultimate top for Bitcoin. But they don't realize that that is just what they want us to think, right? They're trying to FUD us out of massive profits of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree that 100K could be a very easy target.
I think it's interesting, Miguel. You're exactly right. These numbers, at the start of the year, they were absolutely wild, right?
Mhm.
and then as we had basically the huge May correction that was a couple months long, then all of a sudden, I think part of it was BitBoy Crypto. Ben Armstrong definitely started to change the narrative. The reality is, in some way, shape, or form, crypto can be a large echo chamber because it's still, even as large as it is now, a lot of people hear and regurgitate a lot of the same or similar information. Now, we try not to do that here, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that happens a lot. So you need to not be we try not to be influenced by hearing things like that. But that being said, okay, um, the start of the year, huge numbers. Then that happened. Then CryptoFace was saying that 65 was the top, right?
Yes.
He
Yes.
literally, I don't know if he recanted on that as of
I think
recent.
so. I think I saw him another time on Around the Blockchain. I think he kind of stepped away from that mentality of 65 being the total top.
But there was people that believed that, right? Here's the deal. This is just like every other news media outlet and information that we have. As I talked about this earlier today on a video, right? What if the idea is to keep us confused, is to keep us guessing? Because here's the deal. If everybody knows exactly where Bitcoin's headed, right? Then how are these institutions going to be able to capitalize on getting you to buy the top and sell the bottom, right? That's ultimately what they
Yes.
want the institute or the retail investor to do. They want us to buy their bags all the way up here, and they want us
Yep.
to get scared when it's all the way down here and sell to them, right?
Exactly.
And the thing is that if it's just that easy and just we have the same thing, a cycle after cycle, and it's exactly the same, and you can look for this. Listen, at the point that it becomes predictable is the point at which things have to change. And so
Exactly.
so even though I am in the camp that I believe we are doing something similar to 2017. And I do believe that the blow off top needs to happen. The blow off top needs to happen because the blow off top, the people that the blow off top gets is the retail investor that doesn't truly understand the market, that has not been around for a cycle prior to, right? They are the investor that are going to FOMO in. But that being said, investors like ourselves that would love, there is a big difference, and we've talked about it, taking profits at
Yeah.
100K, or even if we would, versus 250K,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Massive difference, right?
Yes.
So because we talk about game planning all the time, that's where we like to put in our sell orders, right? We put the sell order in advance, and that is, hey, if it does this, I'm taking profits, right? And that
Mhm.
is a very advanced yet simple idea in these markets, and we think that it's really smart. But I guess what I'm getting at is there these numbers are absolutely doable no matter what. 100K is doable. 150K is doable. 200K is doable. 250K is doable. And here's why I think that it's all doable, because we don't truly know when this market is over. I
Yeah.
have my own beliefs as to, how much longer we have, which I don't see it going much past the end of this year. But the facts are that I could be absolutely wrong. It's happened before. Just ask my
Yes.
wife. It happened one time. I was wrong, and I had to admit it. So
Yeah, man. So I want to bring up that point that you brought up, right? Where you're saying about misinformation. The fact that we have come into these predictable 4-year cycles of Bitcoin's boom and bust, right? And being able to, at the beginning of the year, BitBoy Crypto was like, hey, the bull market should end by this date, right? And
September
he should,
28th, I think,
yeah,
was the
yeah,
number that
right.
he
And
kept saying.
he should
Yep.
have technically been correct with the calculations of how the markets have been happening in historical
Right.
patterns, right?
Yep.
His predictions for 300,000 should be right, right?
Yeah.
Now he's saying that it's going to be a lot lower because of some insider information kind of stuff, right? And he could be 100% right about that too,
Yeah.
right? We don't know. we would only know when we get there. He could still be very right about what he is saying.
Yeah.
But I 100% believe that once institutions showed up to play ball, they said, look, first thing we need to do is we need to break their confidence on what they think Bitcoin is going to do and what is crypto going to do. And that's what we've seen around the entire world, around every government and every social and every mainstream media, right? Is break your confidence of what you understand to be true. So
Yeah.
they FUD you with a bunch of misinformation because it's the only way to combat real information. So now people don't know anymore. Is Bitcoin going to keep going? Are we going to hit a super trend and we're never going to go back down? We're just going to keep going up forever, right? The super cycle that everybody's talking about. Oh, wait, is Bitcoin going to go back 80, 90% like it normally does? Now nobody knows. Wait, wasn't Bitcoin's cycle, bull cycle, supposed to end on this date? How much longer can we possibly run for? Now everybody is running for the hills, trying to put all this stuff together. And institutions come in 1 minute, they're very happy about Bitcoin. The next minute, another institution comes out, another big figurehead says, "No, Bitcoin is nothing but baloney," and the confidence gets shaken, right? And nobody knows what's going on anymore. Everybody has forgotten crypto fundamentals because of the hope that institutional money is smarter than regular money, that we've been
Yeah.
here for longer periods of time and understand crypto. So now everybody is reliant on whatever they say and do is what we should follow. And they're trying to, shift the cycles, shift the way people think about how crypto could run. So they're definitely pushing us towards this mentality of 100K being this extremely large, practically almost impossible number. But they know that at the end of the day, they're just trying to load up their bags, and they can skyrocket past 100K very, very easy. But this is where BitBoy Crypto could be 100% right. Is they know that Bitcoin could skyrocket past 100K very, very easily. And maybe they do want to suppress it, right? Maybe they do want to put the brakes on it, because
Yeah.
the faster Bitcoin grows, the faster people move away from the stock market and start coming into crypto. But at the end of the day, maybe they don't have as much influence as we think they do in
Right.
the crypto markets yet, and they might not be able to do this suppression. They're only doing this suppression psychologically in retail and in the markets, but not financially.
Yeah, so I think, Miguel, that's a great insight. I think that they have enough control to create some sort of a response. So we
Yeah.
have what's called the fear and greed index, okay?
Yep.
And a lot of people look at that. This is a metric that we look at to see, okay, what's the sentiment of the market? How are people feeling? Okay? So what I believe these massive players, these massive whales, these institutions are able to do, I believe that they are able to create enough, shake things up enough on chain, if you will, to create a sentiment and create the market to start to move in a certain way. What I don't know is if they have if they trust each other enough. Because listen, it would need to be a totally coordinated effort across the
Yeah.
board for all of these institutions who, by the way, they're in competition with each other. They might share information with each other and work together at times, but at the end of the day, I don't know whether you've ever seen the show Billions or not, but
No.
it's about a hedge fund, a massive hedge fund manager. At the end of the day, they all want to be the best, and
Yeah.
so they will absolutely stab each other right in the back when somebody turns around without taking a peek over their shoulder. And so, what do I mean by that? I mean that as much as it could be a coordinated effort on many, many days, there's going to be times where that coordinated effort falls off, right? Where something happens that's unexpected. And when you are playing with other people's money, we call it OPP, other people, well, that's OPP, that's other people's property. We're talking about, well, they treat Bitcoin as property. When you're playing with other people's money, OPM, right? You still do have to have it's a great amount of responsibility. Okay. And so I think that they have, and this is where I think it gets gray. I think they have enough news media push, right? They have enough money to shift the market. They have enough of that type of influence to get the start of a result, and then they plan on being able to get into the mind of the retail trader, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's somebody like us that have been in this for a while or somebody that's brand new, they like to be able to get into their mind and listen and think that they can control an outcome. The other thing I want to say is, if you think for 1 second that these institutions are not paying attention and listening to shows like ours, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
would be sorely mistaken, right? Because they want to know, okay, well, why would they not, right? They
Hmm.
want to know, just like we want to know, what's actually happening. What's the wind feel like here, right? What's the trajectory of the market? And so at the end of the day, they are able to move the markets. I think that this move could be absolutely massive, right? CVO, for example, was talking about a move to about 250K, which is
That's
a
what I like to
massive,
hear, baby. That's what I
massive
like to hear.
yeah, so it's a massive move, right?
Yeah.
My problem with it is there's what we call the law of diminishing returns, and as these numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder to achieve, both on the upside and the downside, right? I think it's a little easier to induce panic and people to sell than it is to continue to pump, 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 pump. Although people jump in on FOMO as well. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's a very coordinated effort. I think we absolutely could go to 250. Here's the thing, though. We could go to 250 as easily as we could be sitting at the top right now. And that's not me trying to put a crazy thought into your head. I'm just
Yeah.
calling a fact a fact. This is a fact that ultimately this could be the top right here, or it could get to 250. Either way, if they feel that they have control of it and can move the market essentially how they want to, and they can short it on the way down and leverage longs on the way up, if they're able to play with all of that, hey, who knows? And that is why we always talk about getting yourself educated, because the more education you can have, at least you see what's going on and have an opportunity to plan for it. So
Yeah. I think, in my personal thoughts, I 100% believe that there will have to be a catalyst event for us to get to 100K and plus. I think that catalyst event could definitely be
why do you say that?
well, because right now Bitcoin has dead hype behind it. There's no hype, right? What did we see at the beginning of the year, right? At the beginning of the year, we saw
Oh yeah,
we saw Michael Saylor coming out, the
Tesla.
first company
Mhm.
ever putting Bitcoin on his balance sheet, right?
Yeah,
Buying up a boatload of Bitcoin. Tesla talking about
mhm.
Bitcoin, putting Bitcoin on his balance sheet. Elon coming out saying, "I hold Bitcoin,"
Right,
saying we're going to accept Bitcoin, right?
right.
More and more little companies, the news started to build on top of the catalyst events of Bitcoin's price action with all these institutions and companies buying up Bitcoin. And that
Yeah,
created a huge amount of FOMO, right? So we need that again. We don't have that currently. We don't. We have good price action happening, but we don't have any narrative pushing Bitcoin right now to create this FOMO level of like the bull run is on. And
okay,
that's what retail needs. Retail needs that to jump in because that's what they wait for. That's their buy signal, right?
right.
So I think there needs to be a catalyst event. That could be an ETF. Very possible that it happens.
Yeah,
Or maybe it's the XRP lawsuit. Maybe it's the XRP lawsuit, them winning the lawsuit. There is some type of big type of regulation clarity kind of thing that comes out of it, and
yeah,
it could cause enough spark and hype in the markets that could push Bitcoin and propel Bitcoin to to new time highs, along with other minor news coming out that accumulates. Right, there's going to be one big event, and then it's going to be fueled by smaller events all coming in together. Because the same way FUD starts to pile up on you real
yep.
quickly, the same
Mhm.
thing happens with the hype and the FOMO.
Oh yeah,
They instantly start coming out with more and more and more articles pushing
yeah,
up the FOMO. So we
yeah.
need that. We haven't had that yet. So I'm expecting a catalyst event to see that happen. At the same time, I
Well, hold on.
believe
Let me ask you this: is the catalyst event something that they're purposely trying to point at? They're trying to say, "Hey, look here," or you're saying we legitimately need a catalyst?
we need a legitimate catalyst to push the hype and push the
Okay.
FOMO into Bitcoin
Okay.
to make Bitcoin
Okay.
run, right?
Okay.
Whether the catalyst is going to be artificial, right? Like
Right.
the ETF not being approved, in my point of view, is an artificial event that should have been approved years ago,
Yeah.
and they've
Yeah.
just been
Yeah.
holding on. And when they're really going to decide, okay, we're going to dump billions of dollars into it, let's use the ETF as the
Mhm.
excuse for the propulsion, and not make it seem like it's just us finally putting all our money in the
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is required. Also believe that even though 100K is a huge psychological number, right? Round
Mhm.
numbers are always a big thing in Bitcoin. I think that we could see the reverse, right? Reverse psychology. Everyone's thinking 100K is going to be very difficult to get past by. What if we just blow right past 100K? What kind of FOMO would that incentivize, right? If we get close to we're in the 90s or so, and I know we're from one day to the next, we blow past 100, we hit 115, 120, right? The amount of FOMO, right? Look what
Oh,
happened today when we hit $1 trillion asset again. Articles back at $1 trillion, back at $1 trillion, right?
yeah.
55K Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up blowing past 100K, the amount of FOMO that would create. That could quickly cause gigantic propulsion towards higher price points, closer to 200. And then when this euphoric moment of, oh man, Bitcoin's not stopping, Bitcoin is
Yeah.
on the rise, right? They're going to be laddering out, like how
Yeah.
we discuss in the academy all the time,
Yeah.
laddering out their profits so that it doesn't take away from the FOMO, and retail keeps coming in along with other institutions or whatever. But they know that the top is near, and they're going to be laddering the way out. And then when they decide, okay, we've taken enough profits, it's time to dump the market, they'll crash
Yeah.
the market, and then retail will be left holding the bag. And then the articles will come out, Bitcoin's too dangerous, yada yada, pa aquí pa allá, all this crap. Look what
Yeah.
happened to you guys. You guys bought the top again.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's dead. It's
Yeah.
never going to survive a 90% or 80% drop with look, all this institutional money is in here, and nobody wants to play with Bitcoin anymore. Bitcoin's
Yeah.
officially dead again.
Yeah.
That's what I believe is going to happen.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. I also wonder if that's where this headed, and it absolutely blew off, right? Just absolutely a true blow off top. I want to throw something out there, and I want to encourage people with this. Okay, if we have that happen, okay, there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking profits, guys. I just want to encourage people. It is because I've done it. It is maddening to see an asset absolutely moon and then watch it go right back down. You watch your portfolio right? And
Yeah,
it
man.
turns right back around and goes the other way, and it goes back the other way fast. So I guess I just want to encourage you that because listen, Bitcoin, in my estimation, is not going to go and then just never come back. Not at this point. Okay. This for me is going to be the last cycle in which I plan on taking a large amount of profits before. So next cycle, right? So I plan on taking a large amount of profits this cycle, reinvesting into the bottom and buying a little bit of real estate, but reinvesting into what I believe to be the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Continuing to dollar cost average at those low numbers throughout this bear market. Then this next run, right? I will not be taking anything more off the table. That is my personal game plan. And I think the numbers are going to get large enough that with my current portfolio versus what it would be at that point, that's going to work for me.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you guys that if that's not what works for you, then don't do that, right? Do something different. But no matter what, if you can, let's get that initial investment back. Again, this is not financial advice, guys, but man, it is such a good feeling to be playing with what we call house money. We talked a whole bunch about this in the academy. We had a seminar on profit taking and strategies, so I'm not going to get into all that, but I do just want to encourage you that this will happen, and it will happen fast. And it
Yes.
will happen with a vengeance, but it will happen with a vengeance on the upward movement and the downward trajectory. So
Yes.
I guess at the end of the day, guys, I've been there, done that. This moves fast. Have a freaking game plan. And if
Yeah,
you
dude.
don't have a game plan right now, check us out at debatecrypto.academy. We would love to have you. Guys, if you're in the live chat right now, make sure you X out of the live chat, smash the likes. If you're not subscribed to us, basically, you know what to do, right? But we
100%.
appreciate all your support. I just wanted to throw in that shameless plug there, Miguel. Debatecrypto.academy. Let us help you out with a game plan for
Yeah.
sure, and education,
So
obviously.
we have a good question here from Juan.
Yeah.
So it says, what if we go into a bear market and institutions come in, soup up a ton of Bitcoin? Can they shorten the bear market? They will 100% come in at the bear market and be buying up a boatload of Bitcoin,
Oh yeah.
right? Over the counter to make sure that the prices stay suppressed, how they have been doing over small amounts over long periods of time, so that the volume doesn't spike and the price doesn't spike. And they will definitely be accumulating Bitcoin long term. Can they shorten the Bitcoin bull or the Bitcoin bull market? They could, but they won't. I think what they're going to do is they're going to use the bear market as a moment to do very high volatile swing trading, right? They're going to use their weight in the market to push the market up a few, 10, $20,000, and then push it back down. And then we're going to see kind of what we saw in May, right? We were flirting with high 20s and then pushing back up to high 30s and then back to high 20s and back to the 30s, right?
Yeah.
And we were back and forth in that range that was only 2 months. The bear market is over a year long, minimum a year long. So we're definitely going to be seeing price action. Bitcoin is not just going to be a dead asset for the next year and a half, and the institution is just going to sit there, playing with their fingers, waiting for the next halving event to do something about it. They're going to be using their weight to create FOMO in moments. Bitcoin pushes up $20,000, $30,000, and then we see a couple of months where we crash back down, and we sit down there for a couple of more months. They accumulate some more, and they push it back up another $30,000, $40,000. We're gonna see. I believe we're gonna see that. I believe we're gonna see very volatile swings, unlike any other bear market before.
Yeah, and then the other thing with that is that you need to understand is the reason that this bear market lasts. Technically, the bear market lasts for 289 days. Like technically, that is the answer, right? Just below a year. But it feels like a lot longer than that, and it kind of looks like a lot longer than that because of how much of a crab market you have, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, these institutions need time to accumulate money. There is things changing politically, economically every single day right now as regulations begin to change, as we have ETFs become available, as all of the as crypto becomes truly mainstream, okay? There is going to be so many people that are in the legacy financial system, right? That are over in stocks and bonds that are going to want to come over into crypto because they now have a safe haven or a safe way to do it via an ETF or whatever the case may be, right? They're going to feel better about it, but it takes time. You can't just call up every single one of your customers and say, "Hey, look, I know you've been buying bonds, right, at like very low yield, right, for a long time, but it's very, very safe. I just need you to give me everything you have, and let's go ahead and flop that for the most volatile asset on the market, right? Right? We're going to totally change everything that we've done and flip it on its head." No, not going to happen. So they need time to accumulate. They need time to be able to build up their bags. And the scary thing is that we still need to be able to accumulate as well. And so we've got to be very careful with how much we actually sell so that we can continue to give it back.
Yes.
That is a concern that you and I have talked about, Miguel. That is the reason right there why this will be the last bear market that I will be selling before reaccumulating, because I believe that after this, we are in for a major supply shock.
Yes, 100% right. I 100% agree. Bitcoin, people are practically already priced out of Bitcoin. It's very difficult for an average investor to accumulate one full Bitcoin right now at $54,000, even at $30,000, right? We're talking about 100K plus where we hit 200, maybe 300. we have, a 50, 60. We might not have a 90% retracement. Maybe we only have a 50 or 60%. We're staying in the very high ranges. Most average investors, you got to also remember, most people around the world do not know about Bitcoin. I think only 2% in the entire world is invested in crypto. The rest of the world does not know anything about Bitcoin. They might have just heard the name, but they don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Also need to remember, Bitcoin is a fixed supply asset, only 21 million coins. Out of those 21 million, there's estimated, I think, between 3 to 4 million are gone,
Yeah.
lost in time from the earlier days. Meaning there's even less Bitcoin out there. Now we're talking about people that have been in Bitcoin since the early days, that have like Max Kaiser, that has a boatload of Bitcoin. The Winklevoss twins have a boatload of Bitcoin, and so on, right? These millionaires that got in early. Then now we're talking retail's coming in, they're buying up Bitcoin. And now we have institutions coming in, buying up a boatload more of Bitcoin. There is not enough Bitcoin for everybody. You will be priced out of Bitcoin by the completely 100%, not even be able to have 0.1 or maybe 0.2 of a Bitcoin by the next bull cycle, or at least by the end of the next bull cycle. And Ethereum is up next. Ethereum is the next asset that you will be completely priced out of. And then it would become one of those dreams of, I wish I could one day maybe have one full ETH, one full Bitcoin. Being a whole coiner will be very, very rare for Bitcoin, specifically in the next bull cycle, which is only about 2 years and a half away. So
Crypto fam, listen, the opportunity that's sitting in front of you, this is the part where I am going to give you some of what I call hopium, right? But this hopium that I'm about to serve up is absolutely a reality. There is an opportunity sitting in front of you right now like no other. You will most likely never have an opportunity like this again, okay? Second to the opportunity to buy Bitcoin some, 10 years ago or whatever, which literally nearly nobody did. Second to that opportunity, getting in this early on crypto is your opportunity. We are living in a digital world. We are heading towards the metaverse. We are heading towards NFTs being your driver's license be NFTs, and home deeds, and all of these things are moving that direction. This is the future. And in anything that you could ever look back in history, if you can invest on the front end of it, guess what? You win, right? And so my this big huge brain thought here, right, is one word. It starts with a P. Patience. Okay. Listen, so many people want to get in, and they want it to make life-changing lottery ticket type money overnight, right? Yeah, everybody's talking about Shiba right now. Well, Shiba's pumped over 300% in the past week. This is not the time to buy Shiba, right? That is not the time to buy Shiba, right? But I digress. So many people want to get in, and they want to make that life-changing money immediately. But here's what I will tell you. That life-changing money, even if you just DCA, dollar cost average, right? DebateCrypto.academy, DCA it, baby. Even if you just dollar cost average, starting right now and do it for the next 5-10 years, I truly believe, even if you think you're getting in quote unquote late right now, you are not. If you can buy now and buy through the bear market, right? You have absolutely a plate, a beautiful cake that's being served in front of you that says, hey, all you need is candles because happy freaking birthday, right? It is on point. You will make money. You will succeed. We have to take advantage of this while we have the opportunity. And I guess what I would encourage you to do is figure out how to be patient, even if it's smaller numbers over a longer period of time. Figure out how to be patient. If it's a large number all at once, make sure it's something that you believe in long term, right? ETH, Bitcoin, something like that. Guys, this works. It's proven to work. Anyone that's been holding since longer ago than this past year is significantly in profit and will continue to be. So I just encourage you, be patient, be patient. Be patient. Miguel, you're muted.
The only thing I wanted to
Guys,
add to that.
what do we, hold on a second. Let's talk about this again, folks. So, do we think that we should, I don't know, we can't fire him. He's my business partner and we love him, right? But we need to figure out a way to punish Miguel for continuously hitting the mute button. So if you guys come up with something creative, I'm all about it. Let me hear it. Send it in the chat.
So I'm gonna make myself big on this one so that I want to really, bring the point home here. I'm bringing it on record. If you're watching this in the future, if you dollar cost averaged from this point, which is today is October 6, 2021, and if you're watching this in 2030, 2031, you made it. There is a boatload of money made in Bitcoin for the people that dollar cost average from now till the future of 2030, 2031. You have made life-changing money, and I'm here to tell you, the people in the future watching this right now from 2030, I told you so.
Yeah, no doubt. I could not be more on board with you, Miguel. This is that opportunity. You will see life-changing money if you can buy now and be patient. Miguel, before we jump off here, do we have any questions in the chat that needed to be talked about?
So yes, Ostock brings up a good question, which I believe is Arthur, right?
Yep, that's Arthur.
Brings up a good question here. Says, what about this? Almost 5% of the world's Bitcoin volume belongs to Satoshi Nakamoto. I think what you mean is he owns close to 5% of the total asset, not
Right.
the volume being traded.
Right.
So yes, he owns, I think, 1 million
yeah,
coins.
we accounted for that as part of what you were talking about with the 3-4 million, whatever it is that's you know what I mean, missing.
No.
For
yeah,
sure.
if Satoshi Nakamoto were to ever log back in and start moving wallets, we're gonna see some weird stuff going on. Right, it's gonna get shaky for Bitcoin real quick. But we don't expect that to happen.
It's still not enough to do anything except for give you a better opportunity to buy in again. I mean, it's not going to be so.
Well, I mean, if he comes in and he dumped his 1 million coins because he's like, hey, I got these at nothing, right? And now I got 1 million coins,
right?
Even at $54,000, a boatload of money. It could it's definitely going to dump. The market's dumping that much Bitcoin all at once. But I don't expect that ever to happen at all. I will not be surprised, though. One other comment I will be posting on here for the record of the future, if he comes back later in 2030 or beyond, when Bitcoin becomes completely stable and is way past over $1 million and is no longer a volatile asset and has been taken in as the digital gold of the future, I would not be surprised if his wallet reactivates at that moment in time.
Yeah, let's finish. Let's finish with this, guys. So the crypto markets are incredibly volatile, but you have the volatility brings opportunity. So let me repeat that one more time. Volatility brings opportunity. So if we can just be patient and we can dollar cost average, just as a simple way to buy, right? We can absolutely win long term. So I just want to encourage you guys: patience. If nobody's told you guys before today, Crypto Fam, we freaking love you guys. We really look forward to continue to be able to help educate you. If you guys are looking for some more education, if you're looking for more of a game plan, check out the DCA fam, right? DebateCrypto.academy. We'd love to have you. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe here. Guys, until next time, hodl
Like it's hot.